All right, 50 Shades of Bold. Let's talk unfiltered because comfort has been costing us clarity. Well, let me warn you, this is going to be a long one, yes. As most of you know, I turned 50 last month and I took some pictures. Some people ask, why do you have to post those pictures on Facebook? Some call it naked pictures. That's their own opinion. And I'm like, what do you do when you go to the beach? If you feel free, you wear a two-piece bathing suit, huh? Right? If you feel restricted, you go ahead and wear your one piece. And if you are extremely shy and restricted, you go ahead and wear your t-shirt and a long pants, and you just sit on the bench and watch others swim. That's the way life goes. So for me, well, I choose to dress for me and not for you. That's the thing. And then I posted it on my Facebook page, not your Facebook page. So, well, let's get back on the topic for today. I play too much, okay? 50 Shades of Antonia. Let me start with my 20s. My 20s built me. My 30s stretched me. My 40s, I would say, my 40s shaped me. In my 50s, refined me like a fine wine. And this chapter didn't just happen. It was earned. It was shaped. It was carved out of everything life taught me. People think I'm mean now. You know, it's funny. At this stage of my life, people look at me and say, Antonia is mean. Antonia don't care. Antonia has changed. This is so many things. But if you know me, if you really know me, not from the phone conversation, not from dance gangs at Gala Convention Center, not from there or wedding party, not from gossip, not from just assumption, but from my heart, you will know that I am the opposite of mean. I am soft. I am loyal. I am giving. And I am selfless to a fault. But here is the truth, though. I don't want to sing my praises. Here's the truth of what they don't want to hear. I stopped bleeding for people who never cared if I lived. Yeah. My 20s and my 30s were the foundation of my life. And before I ever reached this version of me, I was that 22-year-old girl who came to this country alone. Well, thanks to my uncles, Festus, Gregory, and Syriacus. I love you all deeply. Yes, I do. If I can make this, yes, I do. I think I was their best niece, if I would say. Yeah. My 20s taught me independence. They taught me toughness. They taught me how to survive. They were also the decades where my heart was the softest. I was open. I was accommodating. I accepted everything people threw at me at that time. And then came my 30s. My 30s were the decades I gave myself literally away to people. I poured into people without limits. I carried responsibilities that weren't even mine. I think I stretched myself so thin, trying to be everything for everyone. I gave and gave and gave because I believed kindness meant endurance. I didn't know it then, but my 30s were preparing me for the transformation of my 40s. Yeah. My 40s were the decade I stood up and I said no to nonsense. I said no to misuse. I said no to emotional freeloading. And I said no to people who took me or mistook my kindness for weakness. I said no to being drained, disrespected, disappointed, and dismissed. My 40s were when I finally said, I mattered too. And do you know what happened? The moment I stopped allowing people to encroach on my kindness, that moment, I stopped being available for misuse. You know how that Davido song, whenever he plays, yeah, I'm not available. Yes, I'm not really not available. But you can find me at 1030 South Career Parkway. That moment, I stopped letting people walk through me like a hallway. That was when suddenly I became mean to some people. Yeah, I became mean. But I wasn't mean. I was just awake. And that's why 50 looks different on me. Yes, 50 looks different on me because I am different. And I can prove you that I am different. At 50, I don't trade my peace for anybody's comfort. I don't trade my sanity for anybody's approval. Maybe that's why I don't have that friends. I don't have friends. I don't have friends. I don't have best friends. I just have sisters. Few. I don't trade my joy for anybody's validation. And I don't let nobody control me. It didn't start today. It didn't start at 50. It started in my 30s when I realized that people's opinions don't pay my bills. People's opinions don't heal my wounds. I may have a lot of wounds growing up. People's opinion never healed it. The way people treated me never healed it. People's opinion will not build my destiny. So why should I live for them? I'm not uncaring. I'm finally caring for myself. And that's the thing. When a woman stops caring or stop overgiving, people call her selfish. When she stops tolerating, especially tolerating nonsense, people call her rude. When she stops explaining herself, people call her proud. But the simple truth is, I am not mean. I am not uncaring. I am just unavailable for disrespect, manipulation, and emotional labor that drains me. If you know the real me, you know I have a big heart. What I don't do, I no longer hand that heart to people who don't know how to hold it. And that's why I don't police people's opinions anymore. When I walk into any space, I don't care the look you look at me. I don't care the head you nod. I don't care the murmurs you make. If you think I'm mean, that's your own story. And that's your own interpretation, though. If you think I have changed, maybe you are just seeing the version of me that finally values myself. I have never been in the business of managing people's emotion unless you pay me as a psych mental health provider. I am not in the business of convincing anyone to like me. I don't. Maybe that's why I'm different. And I'm not in the business of shrinking myself to make others comfortable. No. At 50, I am the business of peace, in the business of peace. My own peace. I'm not afraid to say no or yes or say, I'm sorry, I couldn't make it. No is a complete sentence. And yes is a choice, not an obligation. I don't say yes to avoid conflict. And I don't say yes to be liked. Neither do I say yes to be accepted. Because I'm not looking for friendship. I'm not. If it doesn't please God and myself, it doesn't make my list. It's not going to make my list. This is the 50 version of me that is healed, whole, and unbothered. So if you think I am mean, maybe you just met the version of me that finally stood for herself and stopped sacrificing herself for people who never cared if she survived. And that's why I say, you live once. You might as well just live it bold.